Hey, are you wanting to learn another language in 2026? Chances are you're considering using Duolingo, right? But is it any good? Well, to be honest, that depends on what your goal is. Hey, if we haven't met yet, my name's Andy and I am currently learning Korean. I've been learning through a mixture of self-study, online tutors, and even attended Korean language school for a bit. So I think you have a pretty good grasp on the different ways you can learn Korean. I'm currently at an intermediate level and I'm currently working on stepping up to an advanced level speaker. But is Duolingo good and who is it for? Let's take a step back to when I first used Duolingo. Compared to when I first used it, it's gotten a lot better. If you asked me, say 2-3 years ago, and say, hey, is it any good? I'd say no. Maybe as a complementary or supplementary tool at best. But I've been sold on it more recently for a few reasons. The first is I've seen people with different languages make some progress using it. So for example, one of my friend's wives, she's learning Spanish. She's been doing Duolingo for over 1,000 days, like a crazy streak. And I can see the way that she speaks to her husband who speaks Spanish, that hey, like she can actually speak pretty well. So you can definitely make progress. For a lot of the courses outside of, I believe, like English and maybe even Spanish, a lot of them only go up to an upper beginner level, maybe lower intermediate, which means if your goal is to become a high level speaker of a language, it's not the best tool. It's a great way to start, build the habit, but if you're wanting to really step up, in that case, you'd be best to move on elsewhere afterwards. The best thing Duolingo does is it helps you build a habit of consistency and it makes it more achievable. So it's a great way to slowly build a study habit. After my time in Korea, which I had the best time, I came back to New Zealand and mate, I was feeling really depressed. I was like, I miss Korea, I miss my friends there, I miss the culture. So whenever I opened up a textbook or watched content, I just really missed Korea and I didn't want to do it. It made me so depressed. But after some time, I decided to pick up Duolingo as a way of just maintaining the level of Korean I had. So while the content is easier than my current level, the Korean course only goes up to an upper beginner, it's been really useful for just maintaining Korean and having a consistent habit every day that I'm working on. Also, it's helped me fill in some gaps or some vocabulary I didn't know. So even if you are a high level speaker, chances are there might be a word or two that you come across that you don't know or you may have forgotten. From there as well, because of that habit starting Korean through Duolingo again, that enabled me to get back into the study mindset and allowed me to do more intensive study outside of Duolingo, which you may have seen through my 90-day Korean challenge, which I posted here and on Instagram. The thing that makes Duolingo so good for building consistency is the streak feature they have. So seeing your streak and that number climb every day and not wanting to break it, it's been the best thing for me to gamify my study and just keep at it every day. Sometimes it's been like 11:30 at night. I'm like, oh, I can't be bothered doing it, but I know, hey, I want to keep my streak, so I do it anyway. It's been quite frustrating at times doing that, but hey, getting through that wall helps me to enjoy my Korean study again. While Duolingo is a great tool for beginners learning a language, there are a few drawbacks that you do need to know about. The first is the energy system on the free version. Because of this, you can only do 1 or 2 lessons before you run out of energy and you have to wait until the next day to study more. In that case, you're limited in how much you can do and you may be wondering what else you can do to fill up that study time. So that's where they try to push you to the paid programs, of course, which are good and sometimes they give you some free options, but that may be something that's out of your budget and out of your consideration when you're starting to learn a language because you're not sure if that investment is worth it yet. The second thing I'm finding is a big issue is the speaking part where they're getting you to record you saying something. Often I'm finding it either picks up bad pronunciation when I do it wrong on purpose, or if it's good pronunciation, say I get my wife who's Korean to speak, sometimes it's not even picking up her voice and she's a native speaker. So an example of this, I took a screenshot of just because I wanted to share it with you. So the expression was 탕수육은 아주 맛있었어요. So my wife said it too. No matter how many times I said it, it just wasn't working. And then I had another one where I said it just really bad pronunciation. Wasn't this one exactly, but was another one. It was along the lines of Yogio parigai soyo. And then it gave me the answer. Where if I didn't know that that was horrible pronunciation, then I'd be like, oh, I'm getting good. But if I spoke to a native speaker, they probably wouldn't understand me because it was really bad. So that's why you need to be really careful with some of the speaking parts of Duolingo. And it's why I wouldn't recommend Duolingo as your only study source. That said, it's better than nothing, but I believe Duolingo is still best as a supplementary study tool or as a tool to get you going with your study. If you want the best results, the best thing to do is to pair this with, say, a textbook or an online tutor, so you have a more structured guide so you can build on other things. I found Duolingo was quite light on the grammar side, and I do believe there is some use in at least learning some of the essential grammar points to help you build a foundation for sentence structures to help you speak more fluently. If you are looking for a tutor, there's a few ways you can do this. The first way, the cheapest way, is just to do a language exchange with someone. They're often not qualified, but it's a great way to share, make friends, do language that way. At the start, I used language exchange partners a lot, which is great, but I found that often I just wanted to teach them English because I'm really passionate about that, or I felt bad taking up their time when I made mistakes or when I was worse than them. That's where I found having a paid tutor was great because I didn't care how many mistakes I made. I knew, hey, I'm paying you to be here, so you can hear all of my mistakes and I don't have to feel bad because I know at least I'm compensating you for the pain of you hearing me speak Korean terribly. If you are wanting to find some language exchange partners, there's a few ways you can do it. There's a few different apps such as HelloTalk, italki, or even in Korea, I used one called Tandem, which is quite good for language exchange. Not everyone on these apps has the intention of language exchange, so please be careful with whoever you talk to. So italki is where I did some of my paid tutors, and I found that that was really useful for building a foundation at the beginning, or you can find people who offer lessons on their own. So for myself, I also offer lessons in English. So if you are looking at learning English and want to have some conversation practice or practice interviews for jobs in English, business English, let me know. I'll include a link in the description there. But overall, if you are looking at using Duolingo and learning another language, do it. Why not? Start that journey. I look forward to seeing what language you learn. If you are learning a new language this year, let me know in the comments. Would love to hear it. I'll see you around.